thanks. What do you think of Steve?
I think Steve's an interesting character.
That's a good word that I would use as well. Yeah,
I
I
I think he's
that
very slow. Like he felt
yeah.
clunky to use, or at least at first. I don't know. I think because of his jump height and his slow speed, it'll definitely make him more mid tier than he will high tier. But
Yeah, I
just
don't know how it's just like if you see that his combos are kind of ridiculous, but that's not enough to make a character. But
exactly
like he's fun to play in training mode. Like definitely
right.
very interesting, like you said, for sure. Um yeah, I got an arena up, so if you want to just join and get right into it, we can. If you had anything you wanted to talk about since last week, you can let me know as well.
No, actually, I think I did really well. I almost 3-0'd my snake friend and
Oh,
tourney.
that is awesome.
I was
Let's
up two
go.
games and then he reverse 3-0'd me. I kept focusing on the things I was doing and not mixing up when he caught on to it finally. So it's just
Mhm.
something I needed to work on. But I'm obviously getting better, so realistically it'll just come in time.
Yeah, that when the way you described the set, even before you said like pretty much what happened is that usually what would it would be what would happen is like you're making all those adaptations, but you have to focus on all of them. And for him, it's just like he's already ready for that once he realizes what's happening. So, but like you're still getting to the step that he's on, and then he takes another step. But once you start on the same step, then you can get a step ahead before him, and then that's when you really have the full advantage. Definitely.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, enough talking about stairs. Unless, geez, I'm thinking of blocks of Steve. Now that I mentioned stairs, like picking him like a staircase pattern. Anyway, yeah, you ready for the ID arena info?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go for it. 6L as in Larry, 0H as in Hector, G. 6L0HG. Pretty sure always going to be a 0 and never an O in these codes. It's a little
Yeah.
thing they do.
You
Yeah,
said 6L0HG.
correct. One of the more confusing ones this time.
Nothing came up.
Oh, you know why? Was playing with somebody the other night and I had it on friends only. I will change that really quickly. My
Yep.
bad.
No problem. You're good.
I think I just have to remake it, so it's probably going to be a
Yep.
different code. I'll
All
throw
good.
an extra minute or so on to the end of the session. No worries. I mean, I kind of always do that anyway, but
Yeah.
I knew I was going to forget this when I played the other night because I like don't really play online, but Steve came out and my friend was like, you know, I'll be playing because it's Steve,
Yeah.
which was weird. It was weird. The dittos were very strange. All
Very
right. Anyway,
interesting. Yeah.
we have the new code, which hopefully I did everything right this time, and it is G as in Gary, B as in boy, 3, P as in Peter, and then another G. So GB3PG. Even more confusing. But this one should work.
Yeah, it worked.
Cool. Yeah, as I'm assuming, as usual, I will stick with the Palu to start off with. But yeah, as you know, anytime you want something different, just let me know.
For sure. For sure. Sounds good.
I'm interested to see. Let's see. It might be tricky for me today. In one way, in some way, I'm hoping that because then we can dig deeper, and then that means you're improving. But I was
Absolutely.
gonna do my best.
Which I actually faced my Palu friend earlier, like just before I got home. I was helping him move stuff in his new apartment, and I was like, I got bad news.
Yeah, yeah. A Mario player that I do a lot of sessions with. He for some reason he always wants to play my Byleth, and he says like, "Oh, okay, so now I can beat other Byleths." Yeah, so right off the bat, I'm noticing like that you've gotten, and you started doing this sort of at the end of our last session too.
Hmm.
But now I feel like it's manifested in a more um, practical and controlled way. Is I feel like a big difference is you're starting to understand how to use aggression as defense.
Right.
Like, whereas like when I started playing you, I kind of just like got back into the swing of like what it was like playing you in the past, and
Hmm.
I'm used to these moments where I can kind of just like run around and like pressure you for free. And
Hmm.
now I'm like getting forward tilted and like getting nared for it and stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay. Oh,
Right.
that's a big thing that I'm noticing. That was just one stock, and I'm sure you're very eager to get back into it. But I just will say like a few other things, like still a little hasty sometimes. Like you're still going for a grab when you could
Yeah,
wait a little bit
I know. It
longer.
got me punished a
Um,
couple times when I didn't need to. Well,
yeah,
there was one
and
time
like
where I was like fairly sure I would have grabbed you, but it was a little bit too far away. So
yeah,
it's
there was
just
one time
learning.
when I like rolled right before it happened or whatever. It was really close. But even then, just always remember is like sometimes it's not even that committing was bad, but that committing to a grab specifically that's a really
Right. It's
laggy
just the wrong
option.
option.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, you can go for like a rising nair or like maybe even jump and then go for a falling fair if they're still there when you get to the apex. Blah blah
Right.
blah. And then just same thing, matchup specific. But if you're looking for your falling fares at low percent, you really want to be careful about doing that against Paula because she wants
Yeah.
nothing more than to catch you jumping.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go. Great. Eight there with that F tilt, like made it look like you were gonna go for a back air. Barely missed. Nice. It was a little weird because I kind of like whiffed it and then it was just still happened to work. That's a little bit of an anti grab. That's the kind of grab that will work, and you won't realize that it was bad because it works sometimes a few times like that. I meant to do an up B, which seemed like you were looking for, but all right. Whatever works. Don't give up all that space. You had a really good position. And that was just greedy. Very, very solidly played. You just kind of like few
Yeah.
like maybe clear mistakes there, things that you might get away with a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, you saw what I meant about how like I don't know if maybe it was a misinput in how you did the laser, but like just treating a little bit there is like a smaller thing. But
Yeah.
I specifically was looking for what would happen there because when I was in the corner there, I felt very pressured. It's that situation we've talked about where it's like all of a sudden, wait, I can lose this game kind of thing,
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm very scared. But like, let's see, how long is he going to keep up this pressure? I didn't do anything. I didn't hit you. You just kind of retreated, went for a laser, and then I was less pressure just based on that positioning. And then obviously
Right.
the jump near back onto stage was more obvious, but I don't think I really need to mention that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we got the balance of different stages. Oops. Back for me. The up smash was kind of dumb, but was a bit of a greedy approach with the back air because it like didn't even hit. Yeah, deserve that because the first fair was supposed to be a back air, I'm sure. Oh. Whatever. That was kind of weird. Oh. I should... Yeah, and we know what to think about that move. So that game, the picture that I'm drawing now, which is kind of sort of building off of the things that you're doing better, you've definitely gotten way more aggressive, I feel like.
Hmm.
But now I feel like I don't want to say it's like that you're being too aggressive, but the way that I would assess is that the increase in your aggression is prompting your opponent, at least in this case me, to panic more. You aren't taking enough chances to actually let me panic and punish that. So like a lot of the times that I'm avoiding you, you could be waiting a little bit longer,
Okay.
mixed in with the aggression. Like a lot of your aggression is like counter aggression. It's kind of like how I play. Like I go for like dash attacks or nairs sometimes to just shut somebody down so that they can't be moving around and pressuring me, which I think
Mhm.
is quite good. But a lot of it, especially with the grabs, could be mixed up with just like doing an empty hop or like running at someone and then dashing. But you know what I'm talking about? Just like a little bit
Yeah.
more empty movement in there,
Okay.
mixed in with the increasing aggression, and you'll start to see now that you're playing that way. It's going to condition people to panic much more. I mean, I think it's good to wait for people to panic anyway. But if you're not pressuring them enough, they're not going to panic, and now you are pressuring me a lot more. So I'm guarantee. I'm like, oh gosh, what if you waited there? That'd be really scary. It's still really scary, but I'm confident that if I can avoid what you're doing, that you're going to swing, and then that will give me a chance to get out of the situation. That was not what I wanted. I see, called it out. Good air dodge. Don't give me that back air punish. Not a bad idea sometimes, but there it just happened to be.
Yeah, I know. I haven't done it at all,
Yeah.
which I don't normally do. I just.
I'm always expecting it. I mean, sometimes I'm not expecting it, and it'll get me, but like usually I'm expecting it because I've gotten hit by it before and I've done it to people. So I'm like, we don't want to let that happen. Oh, that was still active. Jeez, Paulo. Good. Close. Same thing there. Just a little bit greedy. It's a Paulo thing also because that would be kind of good in a lot of matchups. Maybe
Yeah.
not in this. Maybe not given the your last stock kill percent. I'm not last stock, but
Right.
against Paulo, Paulo has back air. As you may notice, um, the timing and the way that you're using, I think, is good. But you are jumping from ledge a little bit too much. I want to say. It's
Yeah.
not getting you hit that much, but like it's like definitely something I'm noticing, and I'm catching you a lot for it, or like I'm not committing to try and punish other options as much, and then I'm potentially trapping landings after the jump. Jump,
Yeah.
I think jump is a solid option from ledge as far as they go. Just you could mix up a little bit more, but
Okay.
eh, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
about Ready for prep. Nice. Really good ledge pressure. That's it. Be careful about going for too many pummels. I almost got out of that one. That would have killed me with no pummels.
I always pummel
Think.
just to make sure.
It is good to pummel to make sure, but like you don't need that many. That was like 4.
Yeah, 4 is always good after 100%.
Maybe against people who aren't very good at mashing. Like
No, I've gotten everyone. As
then
long
they're
as
not mashing fast enough. It,
yeah.
like 174, it's very tricky, but like top players will mash out of out of 4 at that percent. I think, like at 100
Probably.
or like 100, like 120 after 4, definitely that people can mash out of that. Like if the people you're playing aren't, that's fine. But like people can do it. I've seen it a lot.
Okay.
I think I've done it too in situations where I'm like really scary, and it's like it also depends, like you know how much you need the pummels for the kill or whatever. It's funny because most of the time I am telling people to pummel more, but be a little careful there. I'll try and next time we'll try and like extra hard mash. But not a big deal. Like that you're looking for the back air there. That's something we definitely talked about. Like hit your opponent into that position. You want to be looking for the back air pretty much all the time. Mash. That you buffered. Not the ledge too long. That's what I mean about waiting for the like there. It looked like I was gonna just like go for an immediate grab or whatever. I just waited a little bit longer and you spot dodge and I got a bigger hit. Do that a lot. Beautiful. Eventually, eventually we'll get the kill. All right, that's what I get. Oh, that was lucky. Dude, good game.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, something I wanted to point out in there. It's gonna work a lot,
Mhm.
even offline, more online than offline. But I want to make sure that you don't get into the habit of doing like landing aerial into immediate tilt, even if it's down tilt, which is particularly safe.
Mhm.
That is something I'm seeing that you're doing a lot of, and it is working a lot because it's something more like new in your gameplay that I'm not expecting.
Okay.
It is a good mix up, especially like if you do like a safe aerial on somebody's shield. If they're jumping out of shield a lot, it could work out. It's just something to be aware of, so that
Okay.
if it starts, not working for you, then be ready to stop it. A couple times, like I messed up a punish. You did like F tilt after landing, and I
Mhm.
waited for it. And I tried to dash attack, and I got like forward tilt instead. Um, so you can eat not the biggest punishes, but you can eat punishes for that in
Right.
situations where you have the pressure. So
You can
it's
just,
just about
it's just something
recognizing
you
that.
can avoid. So if someone catches on.
Yeah, but very, very nicely played. Like I think there was a good balance there. You used your pressure and like how you waited because I'm trying to just like take advantage of your pressuring too much or being too aggressive. And I'm now noticing it's like a lot trickier to find the holes.
Bro, that barely didn't catch.
Yeah. Okay. It also conditions that nicely because there I was waiting for the tilt. You do a lot of that. You can also condition shield in those situations, which is good.
That almost killed. Jeez.
Yeah, forward throw. There we go. I'm not sure if that was a punish. Looked like your shield came up for a second.
Jeez, I was scared I didn't reach the ledge.
Yeah, that you didn't grab. I know that feeling. Smash 4 used to be able to ledge cancel air dodges like that. That would have been so cool there. Get out of that. very good patience there. And like the last ledge situation, you didn't give me like what I kept looking for. Um, it's tough sometimes to get off with if like I could cover a lot of options, but it still was a lot of the jumping that I would inevitably catch. My goal when I was ledge trapping in a lot of the situations was to kind of just stall there and like eventually get you to do something and hope it would be jump. And a lot of the times that's what I was catching with the Nair. Of
Yeah.
course, there were times when I caught like a neutral get up with it too. Like little things like that could sometimes, make a big difference because you can eventually lose your stock
Yeah, yeah,
being
yeah.
in that position so much. You want me to switch up the characters or stick with Poly?
Sigapala for probably one or two more.
Yeah, this is very, very, very contentious. When you watch these videos back, look for the times where you're whiffing where you don't have to be. That might be you more exposed. Also considering like an offline environment. I know you're playing, and not like you're just an online player, but um, consider how things can be more risky in the other environment. To go for that same thing I did. Although I was trying to bait your back. I die a lot to wolf like that. I jump, then I try and drift back so that he back airs and gives me time to get back onto the stage. But then he drifts in with the back air and hits me anyway. It's the forward tilt that be aware of. Here you go. Most of the time, if you do neutral get up, my Nair is not going to catch you. You win box. Good. The miss. Oh, I died that way. Okay. To be honest with you, there I was completely panicking. Like I even dropped the freaking run behind grab that I meant to do there. Yeah, very, very, very solid. Like the pressure is there so much. That's why I really bring up the things about the whiffs,
Mhm.
because a lot of it is good, but some of it is a little excessive. It is stuff that works better online, and I don't want you to reward yourself too much for being over aggressive. It's not like you're being over aggressive constantly. Like I'm saying, most of it is good, but some of it is a little excessive, but might work more than it should, especially against me. I mean, there's plenty of better players better than me that will take advantage of it better as well.
Right.
So that's the thing that you want to be careful of as you're implementing it better, for sure, for sure.
Okay.
Same matchup?
Let's do Ike this time.
Do I like? Okay. Got me shaking here with the Politane. I got to switch it up. That's what I like to see, dude. Consistent improvement. Probably the most consistent I've seen. Well, I don't have too many people that do like. Actually, I don't know if I've had anyone do like a consistent weekly basis. I've had people that like come back in like random increments and stuff. But yeah, just you don't even need me to tell you. You can see it.
Yeah.
It's because it's not just that you're seeing your improvement against me. You're seeing it against everybody that you play.
Yeah,
Sure.
my buddy's like, you're probably gonna beat me next week, so I'm gonna have to practice more.
Tell him to hit up a good coach. You know.
He actually did. He actually asked about it, and I was like, yeah, I can give you information, whatever you need.
Awesome. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but if you do recommend someone and they do a session with me, you get not $20, but $5 off of your next session, which would make it $20. Like, you know, the subsequent session after they've done theirs. Sure to let me know if that happens. Good either way, of course. Rising Fair. Rising Fair is so good too. Like fair out of shield to catch people jumping out of shield and stuff like that. I don't know if we've talked about, but you've been doing a great job of using it. It was honestly like a good idea to go for the back of there. I was like, wait, I can't do anything about this, but a bit off. Nice, beautiful. First time catching me for it. And you've conditioned that by your pressure at ledge. You completely mixed it up. We can talk about that. Good. And get spiked and die.
So you can only get spiked when you're in the air.
Oh, well, I think we'll talk about it after the game.
All right.
If you get spiked on the ground, you still go up.
Yes, but we'll flash the way it works. The hitbox doesn't spike you unless you're in the air.
Oh, all right.
For whatever reason.
Very close. It's a greedy jump again.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that greed could be part of the same instinct that causes some of the other less obvious things. Oh yeah, I think just you find that little opportunity to hit the brakes in these little situations a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to notice is just the other person just panicking out of their mind because your gameplay has gotten so scary. I feel like maybe when we first started, you were the kind of person who approached being patient as, you know, kind of just not, ooh, wait, is this the real one? Yeah, this is, I guess this is FD.
Uh,
Big, but whatever. Let's,
so how this works is each biome has different platforms and stuff, and it's
yeah.
randomized even when it hazards are off. So it could be potentially actually like legal, but people are saying it's too big and stuff. But I think it's fine.
One of them has no platforms, or oh, the platform. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I was
So
gonna
one
say, I
has
think
one
yeah, this
platform, one has two platforms, one has no platforms, and there's one other one I think has one platform on a different location. But
I haven't tried them yet, but hey, let's play it. I'm fine. Unless you don't want to play it, but I'm
no,
fine with it.
that's fine.
It's pretty much just giant FD. Probably just the FD that you get when you play on 8-player Smash. Maybe not Blast Zone wise, but they're kind of
Oh no, the blast
designed.
zone literally is like right next to where you can't see off screen.
Oh, that could be a reason. Well, it's interesting to other stages. Um, that.
Oh,
Like that grab, like you know it's bad, but that's the instinct in general that I'm trying to focus on. Off the late hit. Nice. For some reason, I thought you wouldn't have time to do it. Always surprises me after the patch. There's strength there. Ooh. This still got me. Nice. That like that little moment where that was I could tell you were focusing because that was like a difference from what I've been seeing. Like a lot of times when you jump in those positions, you commit to like a fair, commit to a nair. But especially as you're seeing against Ike, even compared to Palu, there are times when you have to kind of bail on like landing with a nair or landing with a fair because his range is just that big. It is going to outrange you in a lot of those instances, and things like that are important to be aware of in terms of matchups because there are things where it's like maybe something is like fundamentally not wise, but if you're fighting like Fox or Mario, it's a good idea because of the range ratio. And against a character like Ike or Lucina, might be a little bit more risky.
A little misspaced.
That's a perfect example of where you should wait before going for the grab. Like you reacted to see where I was, but even if it works out, it's dicey. It's not like a punish. The fall. My jump back, bug. Not trying to land on me.
Tried to shield, it wasn't enough time.
Mm. That caught my roll because that's safe. It's an option you haven't gone for in a while, so it's a good mix-up. For example, the overextend with the grab. They killed off the top, I think.
Yeah, because I was DIing back towards the stage.
Drift. Not out of this game. Don't let it slide yet. Takes it to get a kill with Wolf.
Oh, no.
Okay. I could definitely see after like I took a lead, I felt like you started going back to some of more of your habits or whatever. It's like it started off really close, and then it can just be hard. I mean, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of new things in your head as well for the whole time that are difficult to focus on, but you know, it's just not that you, you know, like not that you're thinking that it's over at a certain point, but like I'm still scared. I'm still like I want this two stock because if I don't get this two stock, it feels even to me.
Right.
The way momentum works in this game for sure. Stick with the Ike?
Yeah, that's fine.
Definitely not going to go Steve because my Steve is trash. Looks cool in training mode though. Looks cool in training mode sometimes. Yeah, some other things like in terms of you sometimes being a little antsy to do something too soon. Sometimes I still catch you like I'll be like jumping above your shield, like about to hit it, you know, like not like I'm just jumping and you're anti-airing me. And sometimes like you'll still want to like do an up air out of shield or an air out of shield before I hit your shield, that's obviously good as an anti-air, like the way you've been using like Rising Fair against Ike or whatever. But yeah, this is another thing to be careful about. That is like sometimes I see how well you're tracking me and like following me. I feel like your gameplay a lot now is just like, where is he? I'm going to react to exactly where he is and have a hitbox on top of him as much as I can.
Right.
And it goes back to my other point, which is like, that's really good. But sometimes just stay on top of them without a hitbox, let them panic, and
And then
find
punish
those
their
opportunities
yeah.
as well. Because it's like it's sort of the balance between how your play has changed. I feel like,
Mhm.
but I emphasize it again also because when you let the opponent panic, you'll start to see it and you'll identify what they're doing and you'll start to feel this opportunity that is presenting itself that you might miss if you're too focused on like just staying on top of the person with the aggression as often. I mean, I'm this is relative to your high level of improvement and where you are now. Obviously, you're doing a great
Right.
job, just relative to that.
Right.
Glad I didn't get that. She got that. Didn't know
Oh.
where you lost your jump.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
You could wait a little bit longer. Don't for anything right away. 8. Was dumb. Oh. Okay. Sure. Weird interaction there.
Yeah.
I don't know how I made it back from that low. I really thought I was going to make it back. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure what I did differently there. Or actually, no, that's right. You SD'd really early.
Yeah.
I felt like I was dealing with some of the way you were playing better anyway. It might have just been the way you were down, but that's a game definitely you could look at. If unless you felt like you were just playing off, that might be one to like study extra close to see what I was doing differently that was working.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
I would be looking at that myself to see like it's the kind of things where it reaches a point where it's 100% of the stuff. Can I tell you with while I'm playing? As I've mentioned, if you ever want to do a VOD review, that's a completely good option where we can a lot of different
I mean, if you want
perspectives.
me to just like, because I have all of these clips are being uploaded to YouTube.
Yeah,
They're all there. But if you
actually,
want,
cool. I want to watch them anyways to see myself play because I don't record any of my matches anymore. But yes, that's up to you. It's you want to do a session with me, we can use it however you want. I really like, especially against higher level players as you keep getting better, to do the VOD reviews. But I think we're at a where you could still get a lot from this. But I was close enough. All right. But it's up to you. If you want to do that, we can absolutely go for it, and you can get a lot from that. Air dodge, really smart. Well, I guess you die for it. But wait, was it neutral air dodge and you still died?
no, that was no, that was a that wasn't
Was it
neutral air dodge.
directional?
Yeah.
Wait, I thought you were going to be able to make it after that, but you recognize the threat of my fair. Still relevant. SDs galore. Even a grab like that is just a guess. It's like if you know that I'm shielding in these situations, it's good. But I feel like you just want to stay on. Well, I didn't mean to do that. You just want to stay on top of me, and that's why you're going for it. And that's where you should have like pause, like where you went for that grab a lot of times. Unless you really know that the person like always shields in those situations, but I'm doing this. Poke probably. Even there, I didn't read an air dodge or anything. I was just like, want to wait and then do something a little bit later. Maybe that'll work. That was horrible. My jump back though. You called it out. Super. All right. Well, that was a very, very sloppy game for me. I apologize for that, but well, you know, whatever. You could get something from looking at it. We can do one more. Up to you on the matchup. If you want to do one more like one, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's do it. Yeah, and that is something you can look for my gameplay into the stuff that I talk about. Again, I always like to emphasize that I'm not a top player, and really studying my gameplay is not the best thing to do because there's just better players to study. So why would you study somebody who isn't the best?
Yeah.
But you can see a lot of instances even against you where it'll like that forward tilt that I killed you with in the last game. It's like it looks like, you know, I'm gonna find an opportunity in one spot. I kind of just wait a little bit longer. Like here, like it looks like I was gonna nair there, but then I decide to like land there a little bit later. And so many reasons that can work out, and a lot of times you don't need to know the reasons. You kind of just do it. Just jump there. I went for the grab that we've been talking about, that kind of you go for, because I had a feeling you were gonna. I don't know if I had a feeling you were gonna shield, but I just had a feeling it was a mix-up to something that happened earlier. To be honest with you, I don't remember, but I knew at the time. There, you can spend so much more. It's especially with grab though, just because grab is such a commitment on. Me do something stupid like that. Really that stupid, but you know, get a little bit of time. Somebody does something. Thanks. Another opportunity. smashes have been working because I've been going for up tilts after I land with Nair, by the way. It's not, you can't punish.
No, I
It's
know.
really badly spaced. Yeah. There, Joe, I went for an up tilt. That, neither of us should probably have done what we did there, but two people do something dumb happens, and I guess that's
True.
that. All right, dude. So that brings us to the end of today. You know how it goes. Anything you wanted to ask, anything you want to go over, let me know. If not, congrats on the improvement.
I think I'm alright. I think that I'm starting to implement tomahawks more, but still not enough because it's a really good mix-up, and I'm just not using it. I think sometimes I do it too far away, which doesn't work because then they can react to it. Um, but other than that, I don't really have any questions. I think most of them I'm pretty much answering myself as we go along.
Good. That's what you want. Yeah, and with tomahawks, just like anything else, it's like if it's not there, don't do it. Like
Right.
if you don't have a real opportunity, it's trickier when you're implementing new things. You're like, oh, do I go for it here? Do I go for it here? And then that's fine, if you're just experimenting. But I always just want to stop you from getting into the habit of doing something because you were trying it and maybe it was working sometimes or whatever. You really want to develop more of, because you obviously had it already, but like that real instinct of like, is this time to do something or is this time to not do something?
Right.
And you'll really just start to see like the other person just panicking. But like I said, the way that you've improved your aggression so much, it's going to make that so much easier because the people that you're fighting expect you to be all on top of them and they're going to be choosing defensive options, and you can kind of just hover over them or hover around them and just wait for it every once in a while.
Right.
And that gets really scary because at least for me, like if I'm in a position, I probably anybody, even top players, like if you're in a position where the other person doing a really good job of pressuring you, but then every once in a while, like they do wait, then you don't know what to do. You don't know what you're going to just like guess in close quarters interactions or in like disadvantages and stuff like that. And that's what you want your opponent to have like no idea what they are supposed to do. It just overwhelms them so much. Like in the last couple games as Palu, I couldn't even like get my execution perfectly because I was just terrified of the impending threat that you had with Wolf in every moment.
Right.
And we all know that feeling, I'm sure, but that's what you want your opponent to have and you not to have, and you pretty much have the game at that point.
Right.
Yeah. All right, man. So you know how it goes. Let me know anytime you need anything.
For sure. For sure.
If you want to hit up your friend and let them know whatever, just keep in mind you get that discount. Keep in touch. Have a good night.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you later.